The next subject we will look at is COSH, or Control of Substances Hazardous to Health. COSH. Hazardous substances in the workplace are a potential threat to our short and long-term health. Every year there are hundreds of serious accidents involving hazardous substances, and in some cases leading to long-term permanent injury or illness, and in some cases even death. What is a hazardous substance? Hazardous substances come in many different forms, such as liquids, solids, gases, powders, dusts, bacteria and viruses, and vapour and fumes. All of these are equally dangerous and can affect many parts of your body. They could affect your skin. Skin can be burned, develop rashes, or absorb substances. Heart. The heart can be damaged by a wide range of substances, such as metal fumes that could have been inhaled. Lungs. Many substances that can be inhaled will damage your lungs. Kidneys. A lot of substances that get into your body will be filtered through your kidneys. During that process you can suffer damage to these vital organs. Nervous system. Your nervous system is vital for your survival. Hazardous substances can have a deadly effect. As an employee, you must follow the safe working practices laid down by your employer. It is also up to your employer to make sure that if your job requires it, you have relevant training and instruction. The most important thing for you to remember whilst thinking about COSH is your personal protection. If a job is a risk to your health, then you must make sure that these risks are monitored by competent staff. You must also be provided with and wear the correct personal protective equipment, PPE. This is our next subject. PPE. The Personal Protective Equipment at Work Regulations 1992 states that every employer shall ensure that suitable personal protective equipment is provided to his employees who may be exposed to a risk to their health and safety. PPE is available to protect all parts of your body, including your eyes, ears, and respiratory system. The selection of PPE should be appropriate to the task and hazards it may present. The following criteria should be taken into consideration when choosing PPE for a particular job. The protective equipment should be suitable for the job, and it should give the user the right level of protection. It should take into account the needs of the user, that is, consideration to comfort and movement, and it should also be used and designed for the type of hazard that you're working with. As well as this, PPE needs to conform to British standards, taking into account specific regulations and specific job requirements. There is personal protective equipment to cover every part of the body. Head, hard hats and hairnets. Eyes, goggles, safety glasses or full face protection such as welding masks. Noise and your hearing, ear defenders or earplugs. Inhalation of fumes, dust masks, breathing apparatus and full face shields. Hands and arms, gloves, gauntlets, chainmail gloves. Upper body, high visibility jackets, overalls, thermal clothing, harnesses. Lower body, protective trousers, knee pads. Footwear, strengthened toe caps, slip-resistant soles. Specialist disposable gear. Certain PPE is meant as single wear only or disposable after use. It is vital that these types of PPE are only used once. They may present a contamination risk to you or other people if reused. Use it and dispose of it properly. Electrical safety. Electricity is one of the most dangerous things that you will come into contact with in your working life, but something most people use every day. There are certain do's and don'ts when you work with electricity. Report any faults immediately to your supervisor. Only work with properly connected and tested equipment. Pay attention to all safety signs. Ensure that any equipment you use is properly maintained. Inspect any electrical equipment, cables and connections before switching on. Only use CO2 fire extinguishers when fighting electrical fires. Don't overload circuits and sockets. Never work with poorly maintained or faulty equipment. Don't use electrical equipment in damp or wet conditions. Don't work on any equipment that you have not been trained on. Don't make your own repairs, leave them to qualified electricians. That brings us to the end of the basics of health and safety. I hope we have proved that health and safety is not something that you need to be scared of, and thinking simply about a situation often shows us what we need to know.